while we were still under the missionaries, we were introduced to where they are doing missions, especially in the northeastern. We were keen on northeastern, where we understood that there are some people groups that have not been reached.
And we began to ask ourselves the question, who are the unreached people groups of Kenya? How can we reach the unreached people groups of Kenya? And we identified some of them. This was a follow-up of the Lausanne gathering in Cape Town. We got information, in fact we were very shocked that there were many unreached people groups in Kenya, some of whom we were not even aware of. And so after that gathering in Cape Town is when we realized CITAM must be involved directly in reaching out to missionaries, to the unreached people groups.
Now the next thing was to do research. I already knew that my friend Mike Muthengi was doing a master's in missiology and trying to do certain things in Nairobi Chapel that were related with missions. And because he was part of our church, I called him and said, "Can you help us on a project?" And he agreed to come on a project, not to be employed by the church, but to give us a number of months to move. First of all, check the literature to see who are identified as an unreached people group in Kenya, and then literally take a trip round to establish whether the facts on the literature are reality.
And that's when I came in. I helped to put together a missions policy that would guide, and then I helped to reconstitute the missions board that was there, and the rest of it is history.
So we took, as a church, a survey. We had a big truck full loaded with everything, with water and everything. We bought this big truck from Kumuka. The Kumuka were these guys who do tourist attraction or tourist tours. So we bought that truck from them and went throughout Northeastern. It was a circuit that we made. Isiolo, we went through Isiolo, we went through Marsabit, we went up to north to Ilret, we came to Oleangalani, some place called Oleangalani, Turkana, we came down to Marsabit, Turkana, through the desert, Chalbi Desert. The whole thing took us a month. And I was tasked to map out these areas. So I was among the guys who are doing that survey in those remote areas. And we got some contacts, we got some people who are keen, that were interested in missions. We enlisted them in Wamba from Isiolo. We got to Wamba. From Wamba, we continued north. So those areas we were camping in, we had our tents, we had our water, it was quite hard. And let me say, that's where my beard came, because I could not shave. And we were just moving on. There's very little water. There's no luxuries of wastage of water. So you let go.
And after that big survey, we came up with a list of people that are unreachable groups. We opted to reach 3 of those groups. There were about 22 groups. We opted to reach 3 of the 3 groups. So we took the Samburu, who were then still regarded as unreachable groups. Then we were to take the Rendile and the people in Marsabit.
We were specific about the communities that we wanted to reach out. namely the Samburu, the Rendile, the Burjis, and the Boranas. These 4 communities became our key focus, and we began recruiting missionaries from all over and would send them out to these communities. Specifically, we looked at Isiolo, we looked at Marsabit, we looked at places like Warma, we looked like places like Loyangalani, on the shores of Lake Turkana, amongst the El Molo community. We added the El Molo community to the 4 communities that we were targeting.